have your attention, please, may I ask everyone to take their seats at this time? And you know, we always have to do that housekeeping rule where we ask you to mute your phones. But most of you think your cell phones are already muted, but then it rings. So we're gonna ask everybody to just take their phone out and check it one more time and make sure that you have it on mute or either vibrate. The other housekeeping rule we ask is that you please keep your mask on unless you are eating. We want to make sure we keep everybody safe in here today. So thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Morgan Williams Bryant, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all here today. I have the honor of co-chairing this event with my co-chairs, Jamil Cruz, Deja Middlebrooks, and Dr. Wendy Mastrada. Give them a wave. You will see them later on this morning. I've been a supporter of Say Yes since its inception 10 years ago. That doesn't make me old. I'm not old at all. And don't even look at the gray hairs that's coming up in here. I'm proud to serve on the endowment committee chaired by Nick and Courtney Sinatra, who you will hear from next. Before we jump into our program, I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of our guests who are joining us on Zoom. Please give us a wave to all of our Zoom guests this morning. We appreciate you and happy that you are still able to join us today. And we ask that you feel free to type in the chat, and it is being monitored by one of the amazing Say Yes staff this morning. Are you ready and set to reconnect? I don't believe you. Are you ready and set to reconnect? Yes. Are you ready and set to reconnect? Yes. This is an organization that prides and have a foundation on providing scholarships for students so that they can have either a no tuition bill or less of a tuition bill when they come from school. So I'm gonna ask again, are you ready and set to reconnect? Yes. So when I say ready and set, you say connect, ready and set, connect. Ready and set, connect. Ready and set. It's still kind of like to me. Ready and set, connect. Ready and set. Connect. All right, now I'd like to welcome Courtney and Nick Sinatra, chairs of the Say Yes Endowment Campaign. Nick and Courtney.
Thank you. Well, that was exciting. Certainly woke us all up, feeling much better now. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. It's been a very long time since I've seen this many people in one room. This is fantastic. So thanks for taking the time. For those of you who chimed in on the internet, thank you so much. It's a special hour that we're about to embark on right here. So thank you ahead of time for being here and for all of your support. I'm Nick Sinatra. This is my wife, Courtney. We're enthusiastically proud to support and chair the Say Yes Forever Endowment Campaign. And for those of you who don't know what that is about, you're going to find out. And I can promise you it's going to blow your mind, because what this organization does in this community is some of the most impactful work that goes on. And it goes on every single day behind the scenes, and it's changing lives and it's bettering our community. So at its core, what the Say Yes Forever Endowment Campaign is, we're providing hope. We're providing hope for those students who graduate a Buffalo public or charter school. They can go to college, two-year or four-year, and that's really powerful, on scholarship. Okay, and with your help, we're going to permanently endow this campaign, right? So think about that. For decades and generations moving forward, that promise is going to be there for folks, right? And that's going to change. It already is changing our community, but it's going to change our community in powerful ways moving forward. And so I'm happy that you're here. Thank you so much ahead of time for all your support. We're going to keep asking you for support throughout the course of the day. So I'm going to thank you ahead of time for your contributions. But I also wanted to thank the tremendous staff and team at Say Yes. I've never been around an organization, including my own, that is as well run as the one here at Say Yes. And so Dave, the CEO, Dave Russ, Dave, where are you? Thank you for your leadership. You have a tremendous team. I'd like to also thank my fellow board members for Say Yes, led by our chair, Bill Joyce, who's joined us on the internet here through Zoom. Thank you so much, Bill, for all your leadership. I'm so proud to be part of this board. my wife Courtney wants to say a few words as well.
I'll make this brief. I don't want to delay the program, but we can't go without thanking our corporate sponsors. So thank you, Northwest, Hodgson Russ, Milk for Health, Steve and Nicole Swift, Jack Walsh, Sinatra and Company Real Estate, KeyBank, also my employer, the Buffalo News, Hunt Real Estate, Independent Health, Bank on Buffalo, West Her, Block and Longo, Cross Country Mortgage, and Nanco Associates. Thank you very much for being here, everybody, and thank you to our corporate sponsors. Enjoy the program.
Okay, let's give them a round of applause one more time. For those of you that just came in, I want to remind you to put your cell phones on mute and also keep your mask on unless you are eating. Next, I'd like to welcome Antoinette Pendergrass for a musical performance from the great Buffalo Academy for Visual and Performing Arts. Can you tell us my alma mater? Antoinette. We can do better than that. I know I couldn't get up here and sing. Great job, Antoinette. Next, we're going to give you some time to enjoy your breakfast. We're going to take about 10 minutes. We invite our guests on Zoom to grab a bite to eat with us as well. So in 10 minutes, we will be back and enjoy the video presentation in between. Okay, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed that breakfast. Next up, we're going to have the amazing Dave Russ, the Chief Executive Officer of Say Yes Buffalo. Dave will share a brief organizational update of all the wonderful work this organization has been doing to improve the outcome for Buffalo students and families throughout these years. Welcome, Dave.
Morning, everyone. I'm Dave. Good to see y'all. Thanks for coming out today. I'm excited to talk a little bit about our work. I'm more excited for you to hear from Malik and Maddie, which is why we do the work shortly, two of our shining stars. I generally don't use notes when I talk. I do want to give some shout outs this morning to friends and colleagues that are in the room and on Zoom. I'd like to start with a few gentlemen in the back that have been holding it down and doing tremendous work, Pastor Giles and Pastor Simmons. I appreciate both of you more than you ever know, and really appreciate you being here with us today. See Pastor Staples at the table in front of them. Thank you, Pastor, for your leadership continuously in this community as well. It's an honor to have you with us this morning. Maybe we'll hold applause for a couple because there's just so many folks to shout out before we get into actual say yes. But our chairs today, Wendy and Deja and Morgan and Jamil, I appreciate all the time and energy you put into this. Nick and Courtney for your leadership on trying to raise what we think is a really important number in this community, because it all goes to young people to help everybody have the opportunity for college and post-secondary. I'd like to thank our Buffalo Board of Education members who are with us today, Lou and Larry, Jen, and I'd like to thank Councilmember Rivera for being with us today. I know on the screen we have Sharon Cotman as well too, Paulette Woods, Adam Fogel, who is Senator Kennedy's Chief of Staff, is on there, Barbara Miller-Williams from the City of Buffalo, our Say Yes board members that are also on Zoom, Tamara Cross, one of our shining stars, also a board member. Can you wave your hand, Tamara, if you want to see a future leader in this community? She is right there. Also Katie Schneider, Bill Joyce, and Steve Swift from our board. And then I'd note, we've had an operating committee at SAYS, which I'll talk about shortly. And Wendy and Rachel, thank you for your leadership, serving on that for so long too. Assemblyman Bill Conrad, Erie County Legislator Lisa Chimera, thank you for being with us as well too. So I tried to go through those quickly, but it's important to acknowledge the leadership, the elected leadership that has shown up today. We feel Say Yes is something that brings people together. Not everybody in Buffalo has been given opportunity. Everyone has potential, but not everyone has been given opportunity. And we view our work as critical as the infrastructure that's happened in Buffalo. This intellectual infrastructure will help carry us forward in the next generation. So I'm going to go through some slides and share our work for those that are less familiar with this today. So Levi, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide here after Say Yes Forever. I'll talk a little bit about us. So again, I'd like to acknowledge our generous sponsors today. Next slide, please, Levi. Okay, so this is our model here. If you look at the top, when we launched Say Yes, we had a big, bold vision that every student in this community had the potential to earn a degree. We view college and degrees broadly, a certificate, a 2-year degree, or a 4-year degree. With that would come economic revitalization of our community through increased post-secondary rates. I'd like to firmly acknowledge that bubble on the far right, which is important, stronger public schools. We've seen that. There's good work happening in the Buffalo public schools. It's clear in the data. And we have wonderful, talented students that will take these jobs and lead to the revitalization of our community. That's the theory we put to test when we tried to launch this a decade ago. Levi, please go to the next slide. Backed by all of our work was the fact that, a college scholarship may not be meaningful if you don't have proper clothing, proper shelter, you have food access, need extended learning time supports. So we went to work with this community a decade ago, focused on extended learning time supports, mental health supports, after school, early childhood screening, social service casework, all built in the Buffalo public schools so that students would actually be able to access the scholarship on the back end. You can see all of our supports in grades K through 12, which exist district-wide and are systemic for students. I feel that's a real game changer. I'd like to give a big shout out to our team at Say Yes, which is best in class, best in the business for doing their life-changing work each and every day in partnership with so many. That's the real strength of our organization. As we evolved, we moved to take many of those supports and put them in pre-collegiate and then on college campuses. So I think a decade ago, we were best known for our tuition supports. Say Yes is much broader and deeper than that. And this is the work that protects the investment, helps get students ready for their post-secondary opportunities when they get on campuses, including this campus. Shout out to Stan for your leadership here at Buff State. We have Stan, we have Say Yes success counselors, there's mental health clinics, all meant to support students when they get on campus so that they're able to succeed and thrive here on campus. So this work exists throughout the public schools and on 5 of our largest feeder institutions. Levi, if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide, please. And we're evolving at Say Yes. I'd note even prior pandemic, we were thinking about how we can continue to innovate and evolve and meet the needs of students and families in this community. Our history was built on the scholarship model, which we are best known for in the green. We evolved to add that blue piece of the puzzle, which is pre-K through 12th grade supports with our partner, the Buffalo Public Schools. We moved next to the post-secondary supports and services. I just touched on those briefly. Those were through a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation grant. It was the first direct investment that foundation had made in Buffalo and Western New York to help take those services and put them on higher ed campuses. And now we're looking at our role in workforce in particular. As our students graduate with a certificate, a 2-year degree or 4-year degree, we want many of them to have a good opportunity to live and work here. But there's something that we've come to learn in our decade of existence, and it's from Ken Maker, the president of Medallion, that is sometimes free college is too expensive for students. And so we've worked, and you'll see on the next slide, to start to continue to augment our supports and services through workforce development and action. And we are launching this upcoming April and May, a first high-level modern youth apprenticeship program in Western New York for students that graduate the public schools that want to enter an earn while you learn model. They'll be able to participate in 8 employers that have signed up. Wegmans is the example here, but also Moog, M&T Bank, KeyBank, Rich Products, Lighthouse, Tesla, and Harmac have signed up for our first round. But a student will leave Buffalo Public Schools. They'll start to work at Wegmans 20 hours a week. They're paid for their work while they're earning a certificate. The goal at the back end is 2 to 3 years later, they'll leave with a certificate from an institute of higher ed, and we'll have a $45,000 range job, which is considered, mid-skill, mid-wage in this community. So ultimately, we view as trying to provide as many pathways as possible. Say Yes was built on access for everyone and then choice. So if you want to get into pre-law, if you want to get into business, if you want to go to med school, like Tamara plans to do, that path is there for you. We're looking to grow more pathways for students through this work. And, over the last 10 or 15 years, again, as the infrastructure has grown in Buffalo, more places to go, buildings have been rehabbed. Our work is the people work. And that's, I think, the most important work in any community. Buffalo is a community, and it's comprised of wonderful, beautiful people that we want to continue to give opportunity to. And that's what Say Yes does. So next slide, please, Levi. Again, this is a little bit more on where we're going as we continue to evolve. So we've got these 3 verticals for apprenticeship: advanced manufacturing, business operations, and IT. You can see the types of titles that our wonderful employer partners will be hiring in. And this is only going to grow. This is going to be a bigger boat over time. We would envision a decade from now, 500 or 600 youth apprentices on an annual basis. Next slide, please, Levi. So, a little bit about why we do this. There's a clear social benefit to our work. There is an absolute economic benefit to the work that we're doing too. I think, and it's clear that the more education you have, the more likely you are to be employed, the more money that you're going to make. And I want to talk a little bit about what this means for our local economy too on the next slide. Levi, if you could push to the next one, please. There was a lot of buzz about the Buffalo Billion a few years back. We can make our own way here in Buffalo too. And I'm very grateful for the investments New York State has made in this community, and they continue to make. They've made in Say Yes Buffalo. We view this as, for every 1 percentage point increase we see in the local post-secondary rate here, that's an additional $200 million in disposable income into this community on an annual basis. That's disposable. That's after we've paid our rent, our mortgage, and our car payments. And this is a huge opportunity, right, to continue to grow the city and have a strong middle class and a strong economy in Western New York. So this work makes sense at a lot of different levels. Levi, next slide, please. Again, here you can see our workforce gap. I think anybody that is employer in here are working. We've heard more about this in the last year or so than ever. But this region's in the next decade is looking at 165,000 open jobs, with 2/3 requiring a post-secondary credential. And our largest concentration of youth, our largest opportunity for talent is in the city of Buffalo. Hence the importance of Say Yes at multiple levels for this city and this region. Levi, next slide, please. So in our first years, 8 years, results are really critical to us. This is important work, but we've asked people for their time, their energy, their political will, their resources, and certainly investments in our endowment. And it is, shown a return. We've certainly spent a fair amount on scholarships. I think what that has led to is just as important. And that's a high school graduation rate that's up 27 points. We don't take credit for that. That's in partnership with the public schools and led by the good work happening under the Board of Ed and Dr. Cash every single day. The college going rate is up 23%. So good outcomes there. We've got some more that we're going to share momentarily. So Levi, next slide, please. And over 2,000 college graduates. And we've seen a 3 percentage point increase in students completing their post-secondary degrees within 6 years. That's above national averages and the most important work. And these are real examples of students that are living and working in this community now with their degrees. And you'll hear from a few of them shortly. So next slide, please, Levi. Those students are earning a wide array of degrees, as you can see here, across bachelor's, associates, and certificate programs. With business being our largest driver, and sciences on the bachelor side, and general studies and criminal justice on the associate's degrees, but they're earning good degrees to work in this community. Next slide, please, Levi. So how do we do this? We're here today humbly asking for everybody's investment in our endowment. We have over 1,000 investors to date that has raised over $70 million for scholarships in this community to support our young people, those that you saw on the slides there and those that you will hear from. The beauty of endowment is when we're done, we're done. And this will be in place in perpetuity. And Buffalo will be known as a city that every student has the opportunity to access a post-secondary degree in perpetuity. And what a beautiful vision for our community, and one that will outlast all of us in this room. Levi, next slide, please. So this is where we are. We started with a spend down fund over our first decade, where we raised around $30 million, thanks to the generosity of businesses, individuals, foundations. I see many of you in the room today that have supported us. And now we are on a $100 million scholarship campaign, and we are about halfway there. It was seeded with the 6th largest gift in the history of this region, which was a $25 million anonymous challenge investment that for every $3 we raise up to $75 million, this individual will kick in $1 up to $25 million. The anonymous was intentional. He or she wanted this to be about Buffalo and for us to come together behind what was really important to the region. So there was no naming behind that investment. It was done with purpose, and is certainly something that I respect. Next slide, please, Levi. So you can see what it'll take to get there. I'm running over on my time a little bit, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker through these next few slides. Levi, the next one, please. I would like to note a we. This has been an interesting year in Buffalo. Again, getting close to closing here, but we want to bring people together behind really important work, and we do that. The challenges that we are looking to take on, you can't tackle alone. SAS can't, a city can't, a school district can't, philanthropy can't, a college can't. It takes partnership. And we work with meaningful partnership with many good community-based organizations that do good work across after school, et cetera, to try and do this work. So on the next slide, I'll give an example of how we try and bring together the city and regional leadership. In mid-January, we'll have our first public community leadership council meeting since the pandemic started, chaired by the names and faces that many of you know in this region: our mayor, our regent, the chair of our board, Senator Kennedy, our majority leader, board member Petrucci, board president Petrucci, and our deputy county executive, all coming together so that we are aligned on the outcomes that are important to us: more high school graduates, more post-secondary graduates, and good workforce access. And it takes a partnership like this to pull that off. Next, I would note that we also meet every 3 weeks with the partners you see on the screen here, so that we're aligned on the goals that we're trying to accomplish. And we've been doing this for a decade now. And it is a meeting that doesn't take place anywhere else in the country. And I just want to thank our partners and our colleagues for continuing to put their time and energy behind our young people and giving everyone opportunity. Next slide, please, Levi. Finally, I'll close with this. As we are entering our 10th year, we wanted a new home at SAS Buffalo, and a home of permanence. So we are relocating our corporate office to Jefferson Avenue, working in partnership with Nick between Northampton and Southampton. So if you drive by there, you can see the interior build out taking place. This is where we're going to be in perpetuity. We feel it's a signature relocation. It was something that our team felt was really important too, that we're in a neighborhood, that we're in a community. So we're moving to Jefferson Avenue. June 3rd, we'll have the keys. We are very excited. I'd certainly like to thank Nick for his leadership on helping us get to this space and being in a neighborhood. When I first met Nick and he told me how he got on his bike and started to drive around Buffalo and look for opportunity, that was something that moved me, and this, I hope, is something that moves people, and we're going to be a good neighbor to those in the Jefferson Avenue corridor. So we're excited to be there. I'm fortunate to be able to sit here and talk for a little bit today. I'm a caretaker for this position. My team does really extraordinary work each and every day. they're heroes and wonderful colleagues and friends, and I want to send them a lot of love today. If our Say Yes team could stand up quickly, I'd like to close with just a shout out to the Say Yes team in the room today. And please feel free to reach out to any of them afterwards. Big thank you to each of you, and I will turn it back to Morgan. Thanks, everyone.
Keep that applause going just a little longer. Dave and his team have done an amazing job for the past almost 10 years. So next we'll have the opportunity to view a video that will echo Dave's sentiments and show the impact that Say Yes has had over the past few years.
My name is Cameron Jackson. I graduated from Oracle Charter School in 2014. I'm a former Say Yes ambassador. I graduated from UB in 2019 with a music degree and graphic design minor. I currently work for Say Yes Buffalo, a comfortable space with friends and family as the community school specialist.
My name is Natalia Rice, and I am the Chief Equity Officer for New View Alliance, which is the parent affiliate of two nonprofits here in Buffalo, Gateway Longview and New Directions Youth and Family Services. In this role, I really work on strategic planning around diversity, equity, and inclusion. What can we do better for our workforce and the youth and families we serve to make sure that they feel empowered for who that they are and have access to the resources that they need to succeed. And I am also a proud Say Yes alum.
So my name is Yusuf Burgos, from Buffalo, New York. I went to City Honors High School. I graduated back in 2013. I then went on to go to UB. I graduated from UB with my undergrad in accounting, and then I later pursued my master's in accounting as well, which I obtained from UB. That has led me to opening up my own business, which is a store named The Cellar. It's on Elmwood Avenue in Buffalo, New York. We specialize in high-end streetwear and sneakers, high-end clothing that you kind of see online in bigger cities, and we kind of bring that in and offer it to our clients here in Buffalo.
I think Say Yes has been a tremendous impact just going through college, essentially feeling like a first-generation student and having support from the same people that I work with now. People encouraging me, people introducing me to people that I probably wouldn't have met otherwise. We have a lot of good programming, a lot of good opportunities, and I feel like I was fortunate enough to take advantage of it. So to be able to be in the work environment and see that it's still, the same good feelings as it was when I was an ambassador, it's like that full circle moment.
I attribute the majority of my professional success to Say Yes. I think that just from even getting into college, being able to support myself financially, pursue a study abroad program, go into the degree program that I've always dreamed of, going to the school I've always dreamed of was the beginning of that platform. From there, I discovered the internship program, was able to dive deep into the world of professional development. My first two internships were what provided the launchpad for my professional career. My first job was directly a result of the Say Yes internship that I had. And then even from that first job, I ended up into my second. So it's been opportunity, it's been support, holistic from the ground up.
Say Yes was pivotal in just getting me to where I am. Foundation, I always tell everyone, is my foundation. I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without my education, but Say Yes, ultimately they were able to remove the financial burden from college and actually make it a reality. And being able to actually focus on school and study without having that, say a bill or, like I said, just that financial burden kind of clouding the energy and the judgment. It just allowed me to flourish, really focus on my academics and my schoolwork, and ultimately allowed me to excel. That ended up taking me to my master's program and getting me to where I am now.
Education, in my personal opinion, is such a critical foundation for long-term success, and supporting an organization like Say Yes is a direct investment into the lifetime of success for the youth in our community. For the students who potentially see this as a barrier to access due to cost, due to accessibility, being able to support this means to bring opportunity, it means to empower, and it means to make all of long-term ambitions a real reality.
Wow, it's really, yes. Great job again to Say Yes, to Dave and the team that really work with the community every single day, putting in the work to produce students and pull out the potential like you saw in the videos today. So first, I would like to welcome, we're going to hear from some in-person Say Yes students that have been impacted. First, we'd like to welcome Madeline Little. Madeline has been impacted by Say Yes Buffalo so much that now she's a full-time employee. Madeline will be followed by Malik Stubbs, and I'll let them share their stories. Madeline and Malik.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maddie Little. I'm 22, and I am also a SAYS alum. I graduated from Hutch Tech High School in 2016, and I graduated from SUNY Fredonia, where I majored in journalism in 2020. Currently, I am completing a master's program at Buffalo State College in public relations. I grew up on the east side of Buffalo, New York, on Rounds Avenue. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to go to college. I always loved to read and write. It was a form of escapism for me. And by the time I was 10, I was reading at a high school level. I just didn't know how I was going to afford college, but then Say Yes came about. Where you come from does not determine your future, you do. And with Say Yes, I was able to create a successful one with the resources they provided, such as tuition coverage for all 4 years of undergrad, multiple paid internships, and a great network and support system. The Say Yes staff truly believes in their mission, and I myself, along with many of my peers, are proof that this system is working. I am forever grateful for the opportunity Say Yes has given me, along with the family that I've gained with. The staff at Say Yes are people who truly show up for me and support me to the fullest extent. Whether it was for my graduation, passing all my classes, starting a new position, or even just challenging me, the support is endless. Speaking of new positions, I recently started as a Say Yes Community School Navigator at Highgate Heights. I love this, and being able to give back to Say Yes makes this opportunity that much more greater. This role also allows me to work in a school that is right in the middle of the community that I grew up in, and it doesn't get better than that. My hope is that with this experience, I'll be able to start my own initiative that will allow me to make a difference in the communities that are impacted like the one I grew up in was. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. My name is Malik Dwayne Stubbs. I'm a first-generation college student, raised by a single mother, and my life was never easy. However, I never allowed my problems from stopping me achieve my dreams. In 2018, I graduated from Canisius College with a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science. Currently, I'm finishing my Master's in Arts in Organization and Leadership at Medaille College. And also, I'm 4 weeks away from finishing my first class at Harvard, and I'm pursuing my second master's in digital media design. At a young age, I decided to dedicate my life to public service and become a leader of my community. For example, I ran for public office and I was elected as a politician at age 24, straight out of undergrad. I was the Democratic Committee member for Buffalo's East Side. And also I started a small business called Explore STEM. It's a program that provides STEM education to underserved students My goal is to show the world that young people can take leadership in their communities. Nonetheless, let's talk about Say Yes Buffalo. The organization is led by public servants who want students to succeed. Say Yes Buffalo is more than a scholarship opportunity. It's a game changer in education. For example, I'm a proud member of the Say Yes Buffalo Breaking Barriers Youth Leadership Council, a program that supports young men of color like me. This program focuses on changing the narrative for boys and men of color, transforming young men into community leaders, and fighting against social injustice. Also, as a child, my mother struggled finding weekend activities for my siblings and I. However, Say Yes Buffalo solved this problem with the strong community school Saturday Academy. Saturday Academy provides free sports, arts, and STEM activities to families. And plus, they provide free lunches to all their students. In my experience, there's a lack of professional network for first-generation college students like me. Say Yes Buffalo helps students find internships and offer career coaching. And additionally, Say Yes Buffalo has a fantastic mentoring program for students who need guidance and also career decision-making and further assistance. To conclude, an African proverb states, it takes a village to raise a child. And Say Yes Buffalo plays a huge part in our village. Say Yes Buffalo is truth. Say Yes Buffalo is transforming today's students to tomorrow leaders. And we're so blessed to be a part of this initiative. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who invested so much time in helping Say Yes Scholars succeed. Thank you.
Give Maddie and Malik another round of applause. Full-time employee, getting elected to the Democratic Committee, I think he says, fresh out of college. That's some awesome work that you're doing. So thank you. I'm blown away by the amazing work that you all are doing and that you were able to get up and speak in front of a room full of people and our Zoom audience today. So congratulations to each one of you. Now I'd like to welcome my fellow co-chairs to join me at the podium, Jamil, Deja, and Wendy.
All right, I have to adjust. Good morning. I don't know how to add anything more to what we've already heard. Our students are amazing, but I'm going to try because I come to everything, the co-chair of this, everything we've done as the parent. So all of us here who are parents, have been parents, will be parents. I'm sure we all know that when we have our kids, we look at them and think, I want to do everything I can to make them achieve the most they can be. And I'm now in the different role of being the parent of a college freshman. So I'm faced those first college bills, and my daughter is a high school senior. So next year I'll have two of them. So to personally say what this has meant to us and our family cannot be exaggerated. It is such a huge relief to know that my kids can go and come out with minimal debt thanks to the support that we have received thus far. So that's why it's so important to me personally that this be continued forever for all of our kids. So with that in mind, we are asking everyone here to continue to support this work. We are moving the needle in Buffalo and we're just getting started. If you're not already with us, please join us. If you are already with us, we hope you'll invest some more. Your gift and support of the Say Yes Buffalo Endowment is matched $1 for every 3 raised by our anonymous donor, increasing the impact of your investment in our kids. So table captains, now is your time. You all received an envelope with a gift envelope for each of your guests and pens. Please distribute the envelopes to your guests now. If you feel compelled, and I hope you are, if you want to, you can make a one-time gift.
All right, so we're going to let the table captains distribute the cards. So if you want, you can make a one-time gift, but we encourage you to make a multi-year investment in students today. Table captains, please collect your table's gifts and place them in the large envelope. We ask that you please quickly review your guest envelopes to make sure all of the information is complete and readable. Say Yes volunteers at the exits will be collecting those envelopes from table captains. Volunteers, please wave. So where you see the volunteers waving, they're going to be collecting the envelopes from the table captains.
You can also make a gift by scanning the QR code at your table. It's on the back of your program. You can scan it with your smartphone, which will allow you to make a gift online. Also, to our Zoom guests, we haven't forgotten about you. Please click the link to make your online gift. Please note the link and QR code will take you to a page to be a sponsor. This is how you donate to the breakfast today. Please, please donate, everyone.
Table captains, we want to take the opportunity to thank you as well for inviting your guests. Let me tell you, my whole life, besides the foundation of my faith, has been built upon a village. Every opportunity I've had, every success that I've had has been a door that's been opened by somebody that has wrapped their arms around me to support me and to help me to get to where I am today. So you may not be the one. My Sunday school teacher, when I was about 6 years old, came to my mother and said, she's a little shy. You know, do you mind if I kind of take her under my wing? And my mother said, yes, gratefully, a village. And that's where my village started. And since then, I've soared. So you may not be the one that wants to be a Sunday school teacher or take a child directly under your wings. You may not have the time. Maybe that's not even your ministry, and that's okay. But you may have an extra $5, an extra $10. You may have an extra $1,500 that you want to give to Say Yes today. Being a village, I tell you, is a circle of support around these youth and these students in Buffalo that they'll never forget. And you know, a circle can never be broken. So you may be the one person that can ignite a fire in them that really can help them and carry them throughout their entire life. So if you give a donation today, maybe give up Starbucks coffee for a week or a month, or if you donate $25 a month, that's only $300 a year. I know between Tim Hortons and Starbucks, I spend at least $300 a year with them. So I ask you today to become a village around these youth in the Buffalo Public Schools and the charter schools to help support them and ignite that fire that will carry them throughout their lives. So while you are making your gifts, I thank you to our co-chairs again, Deja, Wendy, and Jamil. And while you're making your gifts, we want to invite another Say Yes graduate, Amber Quinney, to give you a spoken word.
Good morning. This poem is entitled Our Deepest Fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be gifted, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so people won't feel insecure around you. We were all made to shine, just as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, as we let our own light shine, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Thank you.
Okay, let's do a temperature check. You ready and set to reconnect? Are you ready and set to reconnect? Are you ready and set to reconnect? Are you ready and set to reconnect? We thank you all. Thank you, Amber, for that wonderful poem to let us know that we are all shining a light on Buffalo Public students. We thank you for coming out and joining us today. We're going to welcome Nick and Courtney back up to close us out. And I thank you for pledging to become a village to these students in the city of Buffalo.
So wow, right? Hopefully everybody agrees Say Yes is having a huge impact in the community, right? So our hope is that each of you here leave feeling like, well, I just know that Say Yes is doing great things. So people came in here with different levels of knowledge of what Say Yes is doing. So hopefully you understand the impact, right? We are empowering people like Maddie and Malik, and they're going out there and they're soaring and they're bettering our community and making our lives and our community that much better. So thank you so much for all of your support now and in the future. Thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank our event chairs. All of you did a great job. Morgan, thank you for emceeing. You were phenomenal. And I'd like to also thank Buffalo State for hosting us here. Buffalo State is one of the schools that Say Yes has a humongous partnership with. And we're very proud to be here in this great space. So have a wonderful day, great Thanksgiving, and God bless.
And I just want to add that Madeline, Malik, Amber, you are an inspiration to all of us. So thank you for doing what you're doing.